My cute and lovely Cancer, this is your horoscope for January 2025. Happy New Year, happy 2025. Welcome to your January, to your new month, new story of your life, new chapter of your life. Now, January will have a bit of a slow start, and in general, 2025, first 4 months will have slow month, a slow sort of start because period all the personal planets will retrograde, and especially for you Mars will be important. Now, January 6th, we have Mars, planet of action and desire and motivation, crawling back into your first house, into your sign, my dear Cancers, and is sort of it's retrograding. Now, retrograding, it means planets are weak, they are not helping at all, they are slow. And it will stay in this position until February 24th in your sign, retrograding, slowing, meaning now Mars, it's because it's like action planet and it's our first house. Seems like plus Mars rules your 10th house of career. Whatever you put your mind on as your career like step, whether it's to apply to jobs or a promotion, that thing might be on pause, or you might stop for a moment and think again what to do next, as an example. And also, Mars in first house might give you a lot of doubts about yourself, about your plan, and about where you're headed in general in life, specifically about your career, what you want to do in life, as your calling, as in a bigger society, what kind of jobs you want to work, and in general, which direction to take your career, for example. And Mars also might slow down those things, any progress there. Like if there was a job, promotion at work promised, then it can be actually arrived after February. Or if there was a new job opportunity for some reason, it can be any reason. For example, like a company decided that you will start your work in spring, but until then you should wait, as an example. So it might be paused, something will be paused. And in general, it's a good time for you to reflect on your priorities, on your plans, because first house is all about me. It's all about who I am in general, what are my priorities, wishes, my plans, who am I at core as well, and my hairstyle, my body weight. And here Mars will be great in first house in terms of like your physical appearance, but don't do any plastic surgeries until end of February because Mars rules all things sharp, like knives, and including surgical knives and plastic, all these devices, surgery devices. And Mars is in your first house, house of appearance, house of body, physical body, how you look. Don't do anything. It's weak, it's slow, and you will not like the result, my dear Cancers. You will be disappointed and you will have to redo it. So avoid until end of February, almost whole winter, my dear Cancers. Now, this will all happen January 6th when Mars moves into your first house. Now, also first house is about, how people call you also, like your surname, your name. You might actually go back to some places or to see some people who might call you some different names. Or you yourself might change name to the previous one during this time, as an example, my dear Cancers. Now, before this Mars goes into your sign, we have Venus January 3rd, right from the beginning almost of January 2025, planet of love and beauty, lover of this Mars, moving into your ninth house. And the ninth house is all about travel, is all about far lands, and it will give you that enjoyment. And generally, it seems like this new year you will welcome with faith because ninth house is about faith, it's about belief, and Venus makes it beautiful. Venus makes it valuable. Sort of, you will be on a higher vibrations, higher levels, sort of, how to say, expecting a lot, and at the same time being grateful. This kind of magical period, it will be whole January because Venus will spend in your ninth house whole January, and you will travel from the beginning around 3rd of January, like around, it could be also plus or minus 5 days. You might travel here, like back home, for example, because Venus rules your home, family, house in your chart, and it might be somewhere that you that is your base actually, or that you wanted to travel as a travel destination, always wanted. some place which is close to your heart, my dear Cancers. Now, January 13th, we have full moon happening in your first house. Now you see your sign will be, and your first house will be quite active in the beginning of January. And full moons are all about conclusions, or they bring some revelations. They show something which is already there in your life that maybe you're not noticing. Just like full moons, they bring and put light there, or they bring conclusion. Now it's happening in your first house conjunct Mars. That Mars which is slow in your first house, like retrograding. And those of you who are born 14th of July, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this full moon. But all of you guys will be affected because you are moon children, and you are most affected by full moons. Now it will happen at 23 degrees of your first house, and that full moon will have a surprise effect because Uranus will be active. It will have exact aspect to that full moon, positive aspect, just so you know. Remember, positive one, shockingly positive surprise, because Uranus is all about surprises and shocking situations. It's like electricity, Now Uranus is in your 11th house, your wish, your desire, your dream, your plans for future. Now Uranus will make that angle, and something dear to your heart is coming to life, my dear Cancers. Your wish might come true here with the speed of light. You won't even notice, but you will be extremely happy, seems like, around this January 13th. Also, 11th house is about social media. If you've been trying to develop your social media presence, like, I don't know, Instagram page, TikTok, YouTube channel, whatever, like related to internet and popularity, this full moon has amazing, immense power to gift you that popularity, let's say overnight, how they say. You might wake up popular, my dear Cancer, especially those of you that are born around this 14th of July, as I said. 11th house is also house of friendships. Some of your friends might shock you in a positive way, in a way that it might be related that they are pregnant. They might actually deliver this news, or they might actually deliver a baby that will shock you too, because you, for example, haven't known that they are expecting, your friends, as an example, or one friend. Could be related to money, like friends might be like inheriting some huge, I don't know, a piece of land or a house from their relatives, deceased relatives, as an example. Or they might get rich because of investments, or it might be your situation, my dear Cancers. If you've been investing like long time ago, let's say, and you have some investments, those investments might bring amazing returns here, and it will be shocking kind of to you too. Now, those of you who've been wishing to have a baby, this full moon has also power to bring that wish forward, come true actually, because Uranus rules your 8th house, and 8th house is all about conception, conceiving a baby, having a baby. Fertility journey is all about that. And if that was your wish, around this full moon you might find out about your pregnancy, or you might actually give birth, because it's full moon, it's already full and it needs to come to light. So it might be that too if you are pregnant, my dear Cancers. Now, anyhow, full moons are always strong, on our first house. The first house is all about something which is like dear to our heart. It's all about me. It's all about my priorities, my plans. You might achieve something here. You might receive some, and it can be in a surprising way, by the way, because Uranus is very active there in its exact aspect during that full moon. Something powerful, which is, let's say you had a plan of achieving something, I don't know, in 2 years, or let's say in 6 months, but you might suddenly achieve this in January, around this 13th of January. Or sort of your priorities might change. Again, your wish might be delivered. As I said, you will have chance to show yourself, because first house is all about how we show ourselves to a bigger society too. Now, it can be also about your appearance and body, let's say, physical body. Something might be changing there here, and drastically changing, to the surprise of everyone and to your own, my dear Cancers. Some project is closing here too, because full moons are about closures. You might finish which you were planning to finish, I don't know, in 6 months, but it will happily end now, my dear Cancers, and you will be extremely happy around this time. Now, January 29 will have a huge transit, very important in 2025, plus in January. And I will make a separate video on this transit, so stay tuned to find out how your life gonna change, like your destiny, about your destiny, because it's about lunar nodes. 29th of January, lunar nodes, they are changing sign. They are always two: north node moving into your ninth house, south node moving into your third house. Now, this axis between 9 and 3rd, it's called movement axis, movement of ideas, movement of physical, also physical movement, movement of communication. You know, a lot of you guys might start travel, but I spoke about this lunar nodes in your 2025 horoscope. If you haven't checked, go check on my channel for your sign, and always check your rising sign because that's the most influential. But sometimes it can be sun sign and moon sign, so you will get to compare actually. So check all of them, all three, and to know which one is affecting you the most. Now, you know, this lunar node, because of this lunar node, we have eclipses happening. Now, eclipses, they are like rocket ships of universe. I call them rocket ships because they bring you in a split second up and in a split second down. It can be both ways too. And they change our life drastically. Like once in a lifetime events happen because of eclipses that we remember for like possibly forever. And because of these lunar nodes, these eclipses will fall in these houses, as I said, in your axis of movement, you know. And well, we will have eclipses beginning in March, but I will make a separate video, so stay tuned in January and subscribe, my dear Cancers. But I would like to hear mention that ninth house and third house are all about learning. Some of you guys might decide to start learning a language or learning new skill, or I don't know, sign up for some courses, or you might go back to university, or you know, a lot of you guys might start traveling, far travels, as an example. A lot of you guys might immigrate somewhere, like to some other country where you've never been before, to start speaking a different language because of any reason. Like maybe you got married and now you're moving to country of your spouse and you need to speak a different language, as an example, you know. Can be any reason. Or you got accepted into university and in abroad, and now you also need to learn a language, let's say, to communicate daily. Now, anyhow, stay tuned for this video. Let's talk about new moon that is happening same day, January 29th, which will be sugar sweet, perfect new moon of January, happening in your financial house, 8th house, at 9 degrees, meaning those of you who are born 30th of June, plus or minus 5 days, will be affected the most by this new moon. Now, new moons are about new energy, something new happening, new person, new event, new situation, and always allowed any full moons, any new moons, 10 days to appear, 10 days before and 10 days after. I mean, to manifest, you know, into your life. Not necessarily exactly January 29th, it will bring the news. It will just appear in the sky on January 29th, but it can be around this date when this new moon will deliver its news. Now, new moon will have support. Now, amazing support from Jupiter, and Jupiter is about happiness, is about luck and abundance. It's our guardian angel, you know, that showers us with gifts. It glitters us with gifts, and it's situated in your 12th house, house of farland, and also house of privacy. But Jupiter rules your 6th house, you know, house of work and daily activities. Whatever you've been doing since June last year, 2024, seems like you've been keeping it private, or it's something that you're doing alone in solitude. It can be some project or work, or it can be also online, remote. For some of you guys, it might be night shifts. For some of you guys, you know, it's behind the scenes, you know, it's sort of behind the curtains, kind of, which we don't show. It's done in privacy. And this new moon is happening in your 8th house. Now, 8th house is all about money, which comes to into your pocket from other people or other institutions like governments or banks, for example, bank loan or investment returns, because money is working there for you. You're not earning them, but it's investment return, as an example. Or alimony, if that's your situation, that you receive for a kid or for yourself, from your ex-husband or wife, or if you're a student, then it's your scholarship. Or it can be also inheritance, because Jupiter is also in 12th house. Now it's about inheritance. New moon is also in 8th house. Now these two houses are concerned with inheritance. Those of you, exactly like born around this day, because it's happening at 9 degrees around 30th of June, seems like you might receive an inheritance here, generous one, like a house or I don't know, apartment, a piece of land, whatever is that, and you will be extremely happy about that. And some of you guys, it might be about spirituality. As Cancers, you are very close to spirituality, like because Jupiter is in 12th house, and it's about broadening mind. Jupiter, planet which makes your mind wider, and whatever it touches, it makes it bigger. And 12th house is all about spirituality, and new moon is happening in another spirituality house, 8th house. Now 8 and 12 are about astrology, for example, or numerology, or more, let's say, professional way, it can be psychology, for example, as a and those of you who are in these areas, you might make this your spirituality interest or hobbies as a job, as a full-time job, but you will be working online, seems like, or remote, and this new moon will give you this sort of status that you are now working for yourself. And maybe you are an astrologer becoming, or numerologer, or I don't know, full-time tarot reader, as an example, or psychology also could be here. Like start receiving, uh, giving like therapies, for example, offering therapies. Now, 8 house and 12 house also concerned about health, and here, plus Jupiter rules your another house of health. And some of you guys here, new moon will, might give you amazing results with Jupiter in your 12th house. Now, Jupiter, anyhow, in 2025 will be big for you, because in June it will move into your sign. It will be amazing one, because Jupiter will gift you luck, my dear Cancers. Every 12 years, it visits your sign. So get ready for your shining moment, my sweet Cancers. Now, as I said, it's about health. And if you had some issues, you might find out that this Jupiter is actually bringing amazing news around that issue. That, for example, you're free from disease, as an example. Or you might actually visit this kind of spa or wellness kind of sessions in the end of January, around those days. Some of you might also go for like work travel, like business travel, but at the same time, it seems like you will combine and like enjoying that travel too. Now, 8th house might be also conception, like conceiving a baby or fertility. If that's what you wished, this new moon has power, because Jupiter is about kids too. It's significator of children. And this new energy is happening in your conception house. Some of you guys might find out you're pregnant, as an example. Now, some of you guys might actually give birth around this time too. What else? 8th house is about bank loans too. As I said, all this money that come from other sources, or it can be about your husband or wife situation. It can be that their money situation is growing, and that will affect you positively too. Amazingly, right? And you might relocate even somewhere, like your husband or wife, let's say they got offered a job somewhere abroad, and now you're happy because you are relocating together to that place, or because of his work or her work, as an example. And if it's about money, then it can be that you might receive a news that you got a scholarship awarded for your studies, or it might be that you got approved a bank loan, a mortgage, whatever is that, related to bank money, or taxes, also tax return situation too. Now, lastly, Uranus, January 30th, we have Uranus going direct. Finally, after moving slow, now will be going fast in your house of friendships. Now, this is Uranus's almost last journey in your 11th house, because it takes 7 years to stay in one sign, and it spent the last 7 years in your 11th house of friendships, house of popularity, internet, social media, and it seems like it was giving you all sorts of let's say crazy situations related to your popularity, or it was giving in ups and downs both, because I call this planet a roller coaster, And since 2018 and 2019, there could have been a lot of situations related to your online social presence, like you've been on and off, for example. And 11 house is also about friendships. It could have been like since that time, a lot of friends came and go, let's say, as an example, like a lot of diverse. You could have been thinking like how diverse your friendship circle is. Like you are at the same time friends with, I don't know, with different sort of mentality, different backgrounds of people, let's say, that are not even like compatible or not in the same social kind of friendship zone, and but you've been sort of like a glue there. It could have been like building friendships with different kinds of people since like in the past 7 years. Now in July this year, Uranus will move into your 12th house. That's when you will feel the difference, but it will briefly move out back into your 11th house. But in 2026 it will move for the next 7 years into your 12th house. Anyhow, when in January 30th Uranus goes direct, finally full force in your 11th house, your friendships might come back. If some of them got lost, or sort of you stopped communication, you lost communication with, your friendships might resume, some old friends might contact you also during this time. Now, Uranus rules your also money house, and you might go back to investments, to some coins, to some financial, like your situation, some instruments as an example, or you might start receiving a scholarship again if for some reason it stopped coming in, maybe for bad grades or whatever reason is that. Now 11th house is about results, and if some things were not coming in time, and those things that you deserve, 11th house is about achievements that we deserve. Now Uranus is direct, it will bring those results, like for your work done, whatever is actually professional area is that, my dear Cancers. Now, this was your horoscope for January. Wish you an amazing month. Love you all. Bye bye.